After spending a week with Motorola's brand new Razr Fold, it feels like it could be the best foldable on the market, but if you stack it up directly against the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, you'll hit the same 3 problems we did. I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com. Let's get into it. Motorola started the whole flip craze back in 2020, and now they're trying to conquer the foldable market too. The Razr Fold isn't quite as sharp and thin as the Galaxy, nor as rounded as the Pixel, but it stands out by using eco leather on the back panel, while the other two stick to Gorilla Glass Victus 2. You could say Motorola sits in the middle in terms of design. It's not as light as the Galaxy, but nowhere near as heavy as the Pixel. The Razr also beats the Galaxy on protection, but the Pixel dominates with an IP68 rating, making it the only one that's fully water and dust resistant. For security, all have fingerprint scanners on the power button. But that's just round one. When it comes to the displays, only one shines bright like a diamond. We have really similar screen dimensions here, hovering at around 8 inches on the inner display and 6.5 inches for the cover screens. All feature LTPO OLED tech in and out with the exception of the Pixel with standard OLED on its cover display. Also, the Razr's cover screen can push 165Hz compared to the 120Hz on the other two. But it's in our brightness test where Motorola takes its first big hit, because the Pixel's inner display gets significantly brighter in both high and peak brightness compared to its competition. For the cover screens, the Pixel still wins for high brightness, though it virtually ties with the Galaxy for peak brightness. You can pause the video right here for all the display specs. So Motorola's screen setup isn't bad, but it's not perfect. Both Samsung and Google outclass it when it comes to brightness. That said, even with lower numbers, the Razr actually offers higher resolution, better refresh rate, tougher protection, and wider HDR support, which might be a fair trade-off. And here's problem number 1. Nobody wants to compromise on cameras at this price, but that's exactly what Motorola's image processing forces you to do. For the main shooters, we have 50 megapixels on the Razr, 200 on the Galaxy, and 48 on the Pixel. And like I just mentioned, Motorola's processing is still unpredictable. Sometimes it completely lacks contrast, and other times it has too much. Skin tones also look heavily lifted, and the saturation gets aggressively boosted. The Galaxy manages white balance the best, but the dynamic range feels more true to life on the Pixel. Ironically, in low light, the Motorola delivers the cleanest shots, though colors are still off. For the ultra-wide lenses, the Razr comes with another 50 megapixel shooter, while the Galaxy and the Pixel drop down to 12 and 10.5 megapixels. Naturally, the Motorola offers the most detail when you zoom in, but the processing tuning still feels wonky. The Galaxy usually shows the most noise in daylight, but in low light scenarios, the Pixel has significantly more digital grain. As for zoom, the Motorola packs another 50 megapixel camera with 3 times optical zoom, the Galaxy uses a 10 megapixel tele with 3 times optical zoom, and the Pixel offers a 10.8 megapixel tele with 5 times optical zoom. Unsurprisingly, the Razr conquers the zoom category, though it leans heavily on generative AI to reconstruct detail. Thanks to that beefier high-res sensor, low-light optical zoom shots are also much crisper on the Razr. Portrait mode is where Motorola's processing just overflows. I look completely pale, though we have to say it has the best edge detection in both the main and telephoto lenses. Detail also remains sharp in low light, but as before, the colors are still not right. Switching gears to video, Motorola and Samsung both top out at 8K 30fps, while Google caps at 4K 60fps. We shot our comparison videos at 4K 30fps like we always do, and even on videos, the Razr tends to overexpose scenes. The Galaxy balances things quite nicely in well-lit environments, but it loses a bit of definition in low light. That said, it is still the most consistent when you look at the white balance, detail, and exposure transitions. With this same lens, only the Galaxy offers a dedicated portrait video mode, though it is limited to a maximum resolution of 1080p at 30fps. For ultra-wide recording, all 3 of these foldies reach a maximum 4K 60fps, however, stabilization on the Motorola is incredibly jerky, with the lens bouncing bouncing all over the place. Between the other two, the Pixel offers a much wider field of view, though the Galaxy captures colors much better. This becomes especially obvious in low light, where the Galaxy is the only one capturing the true tones of the scene. As for the selfie cameras, the Galaxy and the Pixel use a 10 megapixel sensor, while the Motorola comes with 32 megapixels. For photos, we have to give the win to the Pixel as it delivers the most natural results compared to the other two, which can clip highlights or shift the white balance when shooting in low light. However, when it comes to video, the Galaxy takes the crown. The Motorola looks oversaturated and the Pixel just too flat. For resolution, you have 4K at 60 FPS using the cover cameras on both the Pixel and the Galaxy, but the Razr caps at just 1080p 60 FPS.
So now let's test out the audio on all of these devices. We'll start off over here with the brand new Razr. What do you guys think? How do I sound? Then we have the Galaxy. Is it doing any better than the Razr? What do you think? And finally, we have the Pixel over here. How is it sounding? As always, let's talk about it.
As you just heard, the Razr offers no background noise cancellation at all. The Galaxy handles things better, but the Pixel is the cleanest one, though it can make voices sound a bit muffled. As a quick side note, the selfie cam inside the Motorola drops to 20 megapixels compared to the 32 megapixels on the cover display, but it strangely can shoot video at 4K 60 FPS. The internal and cover cameras on the Galaxy and the Pixel are identical inside and out. Some of you might prefer the punchier look of the Motorola, and that is totally fine, but we prefer the more natural look of the Galaxy or Pixel when it comes to photos. For video though, the Galaxy is easily the best of this trio. But if you think it is also the best when it comes to performance, you might be in for a surprise. Here we have top-tier silicon powering the Galaxy and the Pixel, whereas Motorola uses an upper mid-range chipset. That might sound cheap, but you will see it made a massive difference in our battery drain test. For RAM, you have a maximum of 16 gigabytes in all three foldables. And of course, we put these through some heavy real-world testing, kicking things off with Grid Legends, set to graphics mode. As you can see, the Tensor chipset on the Pixel isn't even compatible with this console port. The other two hit a ceiling of 30 FPS, but the Galaxy throttled the most while also running a bit hotter. In Wuthering Waves, with the graphic settings maxed out, the Pixel was ironically the best of the three, capping out at 60 FPS. The other two couldn't even reach that frame rate, and both nosedived to just 18 FPS. For temps though, the Pixel and Galaxy got hot like Tabasco sauce. Moving on, we stress tested an export batch of 99 photos in Lightroom. This time around, the Razr and the Galaxy finished in similar time, while the Pixel trailed far behind. This is something we also saw when rendering a 1-minute 4K 30 FPS video in CapCut. The Pixel took the longest, but to be fair, all three completed the render in under 60 seconds. Benchmarks never really tell the full story of a phone's daily performance, but let's look at how the numbers shake out. In Geekbench 6, the highest scores came courtesy of the Galaxy and its Snapdragon 8 Elite. The Razr wasn't really that far behind, whereas the Pixel took the back seat. Interestingly, in 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme stress test, the Razr beat the Galaxy despite running a less powerful chipset. Stability was technically the best on the Pixel, but that's mostly because its top score was already low. As for Antutu, we watched the Razr take the win yet again, hitting almost 3 million points, leaving the Galaxy in second place and the Pixel sitting in a distant third. Finally, as for storage speeds, using the CPDT benchmark, Samsung managed the fastest overall data management speeds, with the Razr only pulling ahead when it came to sequential reads. As you can see, that Snapdragon inside the Galaxy goes to waste due to the phone's poor heat dissipation, which is a side effect of the slimness of the phone. The Razr achieved very similar results to the Galaxy in our real-world tests, despite running a lower-tier processor, all while managing thermals better. And like we just showed, benchmarks put the Razr on top of the Galaxy, even though that wasn't the case in our real-world testing. That's our frustration number 2, as Motorola is clearly fabricating higher numbers when running these. Now, before we take a look at the hidden software tricks, let us first show you how that mid-range chipset inside the Motorola made a huge difference in our battery drain test. Starting with the basics, the Razr not only carries a massive 6,000 mAh, but it also dominates when it comes to wired and wireless charging speeds. So here's how our drain test goes. We calibrated all screens to 500 nits, turned off all battery-saving features, and ran our 9-app loop, which includes social media scrolling, 4K video recording, web browsing, navigation, gaming, video and music streaming, plus video calling. Now this was a massive surprise, as the Galaxy was the first to die in just over 9 hours. The Pixel stretched past the 10-hour mark, but the Motorola kept going and going, hitting an incredible 13 hours and 22 minutes. While that is incredible screen on time, we did notice some aggressive and constant background app killing to achieve it. Once all three were in the land of the dead, we hooked them up to a 100-watt charger. The very first to fully come back to life was the Razr, taking just 53 minutes. Half an hour later came the Galaxy, and taking last place was the Pixel, clocking in at 1 hour and 29 minutes. But of course, software optimization can make or break the experience, and Motorola made sure to include one really handy feature that Samsung took away on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. All these are running the very latest software versions, all built on top of Android 16. What positively caught us off guard though is that Motorola finally offers a full 7 years of software updates, just like Samsung and Google do. Better late than never, right? We were very happy with the overall foldable experience on all three phones, but each phone comes with their own distinct perks and quirks. You get foldable tricks on all, like a dock to launch or drag and drop apps for side-by-side multitasking, but the Pixel caps you at just 2 side-by-side apps, while the Razr and the Galaxy let you run 3 at once. Thankfully, all support the 90:10 ratio, but the Razr lets you carousel 3 apps like this, which we absolutely loved. The Galaxy can technically open 8 apps at once, but who even wants to do that? All three also feature a desktop mode when you plug into an external monitor to work with a keyboard and a mouse. Of course, you get the usual AI goodies like Circle to Search and Gemini across the board, but Motorola added a physical Moto AI button that you can't even remap, and it sits oddly when the phone is closed. The Razr also comes with 4 different AI assistants pre-installed, which just makes no sense. The Galaxy also has Gemini and Bixby pre-installed, but its overall suite of features feels better integrated. But if you want to supercharge your Razr Fold experience, you can get the Moto Pen Ultra for $99 and bring back the stylus support Samsung completely took away from the Z Fold 7. And it even has Bluetooth. When it comes to everyday smoothness, despite Motorola being in the foldable game for a while now, we still notice some stutters here and there. The Galaxy and the Pixel run much smoother, but since the Razr has 7 years of software support now, we expect those bugs to be squished soon. Now, before you hear our final thoughts, we need to address that last problem we have with both the Razr and the Galaxy, something the Pixel completely avoids. Just keep in mind that recorded speaker audio is not exactly what you hear in person. Here's an audio sample for you.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no else, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
So you're not getting a lot of punch out of these devices given how thin they are, but the Pixel still offers a bit more bass. But more importantly, that third issue we have with the Razr, but also with the Galaxy, is that if you use them unfolded vertically, only your left ear is going to enjoy the music because their speakers stay on that half side. The Pixel, on the other hand, makes sure both of your ears get to enjoy the show. Alright, can we actually recommend the Motorola Razr Fold? We'd say yes, but just not right now. We've been waiting for Motorola to drop a book-style foldable for ages, and despite its rough edges, it's still an incredibly capable phone. You get decent cameras, solid everyday performance, amazing displays, superb battery life, and finally, 7 full years of software support. But it isn't cheap at $1,899. Right now, you can find the Galaxy Z Galaxy Fold 7 on sale for $1,599, which makes it a no-brainer given how close it ran against the Razr in our testing. It'll be a completely different story once the Razr drops down to match the $1,499 price tag of the Pixel, which despite not being the best performing phone out of the group is still the sturdiest and most element-resistant foldable on the market. Plus, the $400 price difference can buy you 1,280 hot dog buns, and those also open up like a folding phone. And while Motorola does not make the same mistakes when it comes to flip phones, the Razr Ultra 2026 might still be the flip phone to avoid this year. Check out in this video why. Also, in case you want exclusive access to videos and perks, go ahead and press that join button. Here's a special shout out to our latest Ultra members: Pixel FN, Rosislav, Legendary PA1, Kisinova, Hekos, Baba, J, Kel, Diamond, Rohan, Ashwin, Buafo, Lavin, Guskrin, Gyokto, Marco, and Drizzy. Oh, and before you go see more Ferrari memes, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and hit subscribe because we're always testing the latest tech to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.